Hello everyone, welcome back. I hope you guys are doing absolutely fine. Let's continue with our next SQL question, which is find the name that contains numbers. So in this one, we will be seeing multiple questions. So they are small questions, related questions. So we will be seeing. So first one is finding the names that contain number. Second one is find all emails with invalid format. And third one is your find phone numbers not matching the pattern. So these are all on the similar lines, so we can check them out very quickly. So the first one, if we check the question, we have a table called users where we have user ID and name, and user ID is the primary key for this table and contains the name of a user, right? Then what we are asked to find, write a SQL query to find all users whose name contains at least one numeric digit 0 to 9. Return the result table with the following columns, that is user ID and name. So this is the input, and here if you see Bob, Ivan, Mike, right? So these three names have the numbers in their name. So that is what we are returning in the output, correct? Okay, so let's see how we can solve this. So let me display the table. Let me display the table here. Yeah, so we have the records over here. So whenever we want to find records and we want to use the where condition, and we want to search part of the string, right? So this 1 2 3 is part of the string, 9 is also part of the string. So we can use like, right? Where, if I simply write where name like, right? So now if I do if you want to get all those records having percentage, means start can be anything, then I have 9, and maybe even percentage if you write, and then anything after that also it is fine, right? So ultimately 9 should be there in the name column. So now if I run this, I will get only Ivan, right? But that is not my ask, right? My ask is to get all the names with having numbers in their name, right? So in this case, maybe you would think, okay, I will write where name like 1 2 3, where name like percentage 9, where name like percentage 007, and you do a union, right? That could be one approach, but again that is restricted, right? It is specific to your this data set, but we want a generic. So for that what we do is we simply say, so we can use something called as regex expression. So I hope in other languages you might have used it. In Python, in other language we have used, or you might have used the regex expression. So the same thing we will use here. So what this is saying is, give me all those records having number 0 to 9. Maybe it can be at the start, something can be there at the end also, something can be there. That's fine, but it should be having 0 to 9 number in the middle, right, or at the end. So now if I run this, I will get all these three records. All right. So now let's look at the next question, that is your find all email with invalid format. So here as well we have a table that has ID column and an email column, and we are supposed to write a SQL query to find all the email addresses that do not follow a valid format. So let's see what a valid format is. Exactly one symbol, at least one character before at least one dot after at least one character after the last dot, right? So I hope everyone knows what a email ID should look like. So this is the valid one: john@example.com, alice@example.com, bob@.com. This is invalid, and yeah, this is also invalid because we have two dots, right? So then there is no at. Then @gmail account, this is also not valid. Mike is also not valid. There is no .com. This is valid. So that's what we are asked to check, and we should output those, right? So again, this is also on the similar lines. we have to use the where and like operator, then you will get the output, right? So I've created the table. Let me display it again here, right? So let's write it one by one, whatever conditions they have given, right? So it's the simple task of adding all these one by one, right? So we have to check must contain at, so that we need to check, right? So that let's do one by one. So here what I'll say, here I'll say where, and here email not like. So in like, so what we do want is there should be it should contain and at the rate and dot, right? So that's what we we want. So what I'll say over here, percentage at the rate, percentage, then we also want dot percentage. So this is how the format should be, right? So now if I run just the first one, let's see. So now we got Alice and Bob. They are not, so this is the actual format we want. These two are not falling in this format. So we are asked to find the emails that are not in the format, right? So that's why we are saying not like this format, right? So this is the first one. So if we go over here, the first one, it says that exactly one at the rate symbol and at least one dot after at, correct? So that is what we did. We can give multiple. So percentage at the rate. So that means anything can be over here, and we need the at the rate symbol. Anything can be over here. Then eventually we need a dot, and anything can be over here. So that's what we checked, and we are taking not like. So whose email is not in this format, we get that. Okay, so now let's also add next condition, right? So what are the other condition? So if you go here, yeah, let's take this as example itself. So next condition, maybe we can say that nothing before at, that means this condition. So we can cater for this as well, right? This is invalid, so we can say something like email like, here I'll say at the rate. So our aim is to check all those emails where it is starting with at the rate. So those should be in our output. Okay, that we got. Next, what are the possible rules that we can apply? We can add multiple at. So it's, if I go here, so we don't have any example for multiple ads, but yeah, let's add that one. Or email like, how we add it? We just say percentage, so start anything is fine, and at the rate, percentage, again at the rate, because we want to find multiple at the rates inside the email. Then again we do percentage, that means okay, at the end we need the other content. So this will not change anything because we don't have that option. Maybe let me do one thing. Let me add that. Let me copy this, paste it over here, and let me say 7, and I'll say Sarah at the rate, and here I'll just add one at the rate. Okay, so it's again a duplicate one. So let me do one thing, drop this and recreate this one. Okay, so now if I just run this, I will get these one. Let me also run this. I will get Sarah as well. All right, so we added 3 conditions. Now we have to check for, okay, what all we checked. We checked the at the rate and dot. We checked like who are not following this. So we got those records. We checked emails which are starting with at the rate, that we checked. Then we are checking emails who are having multiple at the rate. All right. So here, if I go here, Okay, so next we can check at least one character after dot, right? So at least one character with after dot. Or let's do one thing. Let's go with at that. Let's finish at the rate. I'll say or email like percentage dot at percentage. So what I'm checking here basically is there should be no dot before at the rate. So that's what I'm checking. So this, let me run. Now, yeah, this again will remain same because we don't have any such record. Okay, so now the last that is remaining is, I think, at least one other that we have covered. This also I think we have covered, right? We gave the first condition. The first condition where we said not like at the rate percentage dot percentage. So this function, this one, there we covered the case, right? So I think last the only one thing is remaining, that is your, if there is no character then it's just dot, so that condition we need to check, like percentage dot, right? So we intend to check that it is not ending with dot. Let me run this. So yeah, fifth one, Mike has come, right? Mike is ending with dot, he has come, right? So let me summarize again. So for this condition what we did, must contain at the rate and dot in this order. First it should be at the rate, then some characters, then dot. That we checked over here. This here we checked nothing before at, right, or starting with at, something like that. Yeah, so both are one and the same. So all the emails where it is starting with at, that are also invalid. So here we checked more than one at the rate. Then in this we checked dot before at the rate. Here we check ends with dot, right? So these all condition we checked. Now if again this is based on the rules they have given, so you can, you should read what the rules is given. Based on that you can generally write the conditions, right? So if there are again some additional rules, like there should be no hyphens and all those things, that again is again a different rule set you need to add, right? So this is for the second question, right? So let's move on. Let me go to the next question. This is to find phone numbers not matching the pattern, right? Again, let's read the statement. We have a table called phone numbers having ID and phone number columns. Then we are asked to write a query to identify the rows that are not having valid phone numbers, right? So let's read the what is a valid phone number looks like. So a valid phone number must follow the following pattern, that is 3 digits, 3 digits and 4 digits. So that's how the pattern should be, right? And X is a digit 0 to 9. Dashes appear exactly at fourth and eighth position, right? So that's what they have given. So we have to return the result table with the following columns, ID and phone number. Let's look at the example. So this is the example and here is the output. So if you see, the only those phone numbers who are not having the pattern, like 3, 3 and 4, but here it is alphabet, it is not a digit, so that's why it is come here. 3, there is no 3 here, so that's why it says come. All right, so now let's understand how we can do this. First let me see if the table is there. Okay, it's there, right? So again here we will be looking at two approaches. One is the simplest approach, which we have already seen actually in the first one. It is a extension of that. The second approach is more deterministic, and it's actually a quicker one when it comes to performance, right? So that's the better performance one. So let's look at. So let me do select. They have asked us to give ID, phone number. Is it phone number? Okay, this is phone numbers. Phone number from phone number, right? So this is what they have asked us to get, but we have to filter. So the idea will be same, where phone number like, then so how to give the expression here, right? So here, and yeah, we need not like, right? So how the phone number is, right? So if I write it in layman terms over here, we want the phone number to be in the format. What is the format? XXX hyphen XXX hyphen XXXX. So what we are saying is, okay, for the first position it should be a number, for the second position it should be a number, third position number, 4 should be a dash, again these should be a number, 8 should be a dash, and these all should be a number, right? So in this, in regex terms, is something like, if I have to write here 0 to 9, so this will be for the first position, right? This will be for the first position. So if I simply run this, let's see if what we will get, right? We are still getting, I think we have all the records, still all the records coming, because in each of them, all the first records are, first character is number 0 to 9. So that's why all are coming. So in this, right? So 1, 2, 3. So after 3, we have A for this one. So let's do one thing. Let's add up till this condition and see if we will get this row, right? Okay, so let me 0 to 9 and 0 to 9. This is what we are saying. And yeah, so sorry, I think we should have added percentage over here, because what it did previously is it checked for only one character, but all have many characters, right? So percentage, if I add, then it would have, now it will give me correct one, right? Let's run this. So it gave me correct one. So if I remove the percentage, what will happen? It will not find, it will see that, okay, there are no rows having only 3 characters, right? Then it will display all the 5 records. So that's why in the previous one as well, when we added just one, it was giving us all. There as well, it should have given us, if I remove this, right? So let me do percentage over here and run this. It will give me none, because there is no matching records which is having just one character, right? So now this is for the third one. So third one, we got third ID, where we had A in the third character. So like this, what we can do is, I'll just complete this. So it's self-explanatory from now on. So the first 3 characters are numbers, then we have a dash, then again we have 3 characters which should be numbers, then we have a dash, and then we have 4 characters which are numbers. Let me add one more, and done. So now if I execute, I'm getting the expected 2, 3, 4. So if I go above, 2, 3, 4 are the ones that are not matching the phone number pattern, right? So this is the simplest approach, but in case you're running this on a very big data set, it's not performant, because what it is doing is it is comparing each character one by one, and then it is giving you the output, right? That can be expensive when the data is huge. So let's look at the second approach that we have. Let me just copy this, right? So what we will be doing is, so we know in the statement as well, they have mentioned what is the valid. So X is digit 0 to 9, dash appears exactly at 4th and 8th position, right? and we have the numbers, right? 3, 3 and 4, right? Then what is the total? That is 12, right? We are also including the dashes. Just keep in mind that 3, 3, 4, that is 10 plus 1 plus 2, that is 12, right? So we will check if the length is 12, that is the first condition, right? So next condition, what we will see, we will check if the fourth position and eighth position, they themselves have given fourth and eighth position have the dashes, so that we can check, right? And then what we can check if all the numbers by removing the dashes, all the characters by removing the dashes are your numbers 0 to 9, right? So that we can do using the replace function, that we will see. By using the replace function, we will replace these dashes by blank, and then we can check if these all are your number, right? That we can do. So let's write it one by one, and let's see. Where phone number, so first what I said, length of this phone number should be 12, but we will write not equal to 12 because we want those records which are not your valid phone number. So that's why I'll say not equal to 12, or we say substring. So this function can be same or different in different flavors of SQL, but the logic would remain the same. So we are taking substring of 4 till 1, right? One character. So if I hover on this, it will say starting position and the length. From fourth position, what is the amount of characters you want? I just want a one character from the fourth. So that's why I'm saying this. Then here as well, I'll say not equal to your dash. The same thing, let me copy. Here I'll just say 8 not equal to dash, or lastly, so what I said, we will replace all the characters in the number, phone number, and we'll check if each character is a number or not. We'll replace the dashes with blank, and we'll check each character is a number or not. So for that, I'll say, first say replace. What we want to replace? Phone number, right? What we want to replace with? Dash, comma, empty, right? So this we will say, now we got the numbers. These should be like here percentage 0 to 9. This we saw in the previous one. With the same logic, percentage, right? Okay, so here what we need to do is actually, so the last condition what we are checking is we want to check all those records or all those phone numbers who does not have digits or numbers. So let's say this one, right? So we have to check each character is not a digit. So for that, what we need to do is we have to add this inside this one, right? So this icon. So this, if we add, what this will say is, okay, give me all those records whose character is not a digit. So now if I run this will give me 3, 4, 2, 3, 4, which is the correct answer, right? So I hope you got this one as well. The reason we did this second one is because the first one is expensive. So it can be expensive because it is checking character by character each of the records, right? But for this one, we are first checking the length, it should be 12. Second, we are checking the dashes at fourth and eighth position. And lastly, we are only checking if there are any non-digits in the number, right? So that's what we are done. So I hope this is fine. So we saw three questions in this one. First one is invalid names. Second one is invalid emails. Third one is invalid phone numbers. So I hope you like this one. Let's see you in the next one.